What's up, Culture Warriors? Well, I called it. Earlier this week, we saw some news out of Variety that confirmed that Disney and Marvel are not looking to reinstate James Gunn as director of the third installment of Guardians of the Galaxy, despite the cast statement issued last week, not only defending the fired director's tweets about pedophilia as jokes, but also asking for him to be rehired to direct Volume 3 of the franchise. After their desperate attempt with the bizarre statement they released, I'm now dubbing the cast Guardians of the Gun. Now, I predicted their statement wouldn't change any hearts or minds in my last video. And on the surface, it might seem like that's a done deal and time to move on to the next story. But I'm here to say, not so fast. In fact, the James Gunn situation can play out two different ways, and it's up to us to vigilantly watch Disney's next steps. One way it could go is that Disney does not, in fact, rehire James Gunn. This is what some people are celebrating right now, and in my opinion, prematurely. Disney and Marvel are still faced with the problem of Gunn being the topic of conversation attached to the franchise. Along with comics, I've spent 20 years working in advertising, and one of the things which is true in advertising is when you don't like what's being said, change the conversation. The way Marvel and Disney changed the conversation is by bringing in a big-time heavyweight director to take us into the future of the franchise, and not only into the third installment, but also another 2 to 3 picture deal with this new director. By bringing in a heavyweight, they turn the spotlight and conversation from Gunn to the future of the franchise, that being a new director and his exciting new vision, plus a 2 to 3 picture deal, putting him in charge of the franchise for the next 8 to 10 years, potentially. All of this would outshine James Gunn and focus on the future, which is not only weaving a more positive narrative, but moreover, it will in fact change the conversation, which is really what they desperately need right now. Now, you'll notice that I said announcing a big-time heavyweight director, a ringer. I'm talking about a J.J. Abrams or a Steven Spielberg caliber A-lister here. Guardians of the Galaxy fans need to be able to trust the new director to provide able stewardship of the franchise, and we can only pray the A-lister directors out there are smart enough to not tweet about pedophilia. Now, naming a new director is the right path for Disney, but even if they choose this path, they could trip over a tree root and twist their ankle. In Hollywood terms, that would be by making a diversity hire that checks off enough identity boxes that the company thinks the audience will let them off the hook. They might announce a lesbian from Sri Lanka will direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and get some positive PR from the mainstream media. But what will the fans think? What does being a lesbian from Sri Lanka have to do with directing amazing, action-packed, sci-fi, high-octane, high-adventure? Remember, just replacing Gunn with anyone isn't enough. Plenty of fans were deeply hurt by the cast's open letter and are mistrustful of the entire franchise at this point. Win them back by putting a capable leader in charge of the franchise. The fact that they haven't named a new director or are at least publicly fielding new potential directors is troubling, which is the perfect segue into how I could see this going another way. The other option is that Disney doesn't announce a new director and allows 3 to 4 months to go by so that all of the fans forget about James Gunn's terrible comments, the controversy, new Guardians films, and instead focus on other things. The idea is to wait out the news cycle and allow the next Hollywood story to replace this one in our short-term memory. Once enough time has passed and he's fallen out of people's focus, I can actually see them reinstating James Gunn. James would then go on an apology tour. The View, Ellen, Kimmel, and bare his soul, repent, and then switch the conversation to how great Guardians Volume 3 is going to be. It is sad that we have to consider this option, but considering that Sarah Jeong's new bosses at the New York Times knew about her long history of racist tweets and still hired her, does it surprise any of us at all at this point? It's up to us, the culture warriors, to not let Disney try this option. Let's be realistic. Most fans will have this disappear into the back of their mind, but that's what sets all of us apart from them. Let me know what you think in the comments. Will Disney try to redeem James Gunn, or will they come to their senses and get Guardians of the Galaxy back on course? Let me know what all of you think. I'm interested to know. Anyway, please share this video far and wide all over social media to fight against the shadow banning going on from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, and hit the bell for notification to get more full spectrum culture videos. And don't forget to check out the Indigogo campaign for Trump's Space Force. I want to personally thank Sebastian Gorka for his support for our project, and I also want to thank Donald Trump Jr. for tweeting about Trump's Space Force this week. This was huge. It was a huge endorsement for our project, direct from the president's son himself. So check out the link in the description, do your part, and join our ranks today, and contribute to the campaign. And just remember, all of you are the patron saints of our pop culture within the Comicsgate movement and within the MAGA movement. Just like the Medicis, who were the patron saints of art and funded the artistic renaissance in Florence, Italy, back during the 14th through the 17th century, all of you are helping to fund this current renaissance and revolution in comics right now. So as the patron saints of our pop culture, make sure and support Trump's Space Force. Plus, you can't fight a culture war if you don't create your own culture, okay? So we appreciate all your support more than you will ever know. Have a great weekend, and I will speak to all of you soon. Thanks.